Hello and welcome to the Fairy Elephant Effect podcast. Here we are again. I'm so excited to be here. Today we're going to talk about when the emotional story still leads, even when you know better. Because it's what happens, isn't it? So I'm your host, Elizabeth Walter. I'm a clarity and growth coach, and I'm also the author of the Fairy Elephant Effect book. Last week I shared and talked about what it means to lead from your heart, and that I'm a heart-led practitioner. How essential it is to work from the inside out, to allow our heart to guide our decisions and our pace. Because then we get to hold space for ourselves and for others. Today we're going to go deeper into that conversation. Because even when we try to lead a heart-led life, even when we know better in our brains, something often gets in the way. We fall back into old patterns, we second guess our truth, we shrink, we play roles we thought we had grown out of. And when that happens, most people blame themselves, or you could blame outside influences, but you feel that you can't move forward. And so I want to talk to you about a different perspective today, one that's helped many of my clients and continues to shape the core of the work that I do. And also it has changed my life. And I want to say, first of all, you're not failing. You're absolutely not failing. Your intention to be different at being you, your intention of moving forward in a wonderful way is absolutely the right thing to do. But you've got two things happening. Now let me explain a bit deeper. And Joe Dispenza talks about this. Many people talk about this. We have our mind, which has its own mind, and our body has its own mind. I was working with someone the other day just talking about body stuff, because many people ignore their body until the body gets so loud that it is in disease or pain, or you're not able to physically do things anymore. We ignore that body. But there's a saying I learnt from my friend Tracy Alley. 2 minutes of motion helps us release emotion. There's that famous book, The Body Keeps Score. Our emotions, our experiences, and are trapped in our body. So our logical mind, that one that learns, that analyses, that wants to move forward, it sets goals, creates affirmation, repeats mantras, makes plans, it gets into the willpower. That's our mind. But then there's the emotional mind, the one of our body. And that's the one shaped by the lived experiences you don't consciously choose. The one that stores emotion from the moment you are overlooked, the moment perhaps you felt unsafe, dismissed, judged, or not enough. Or in a situation, especially when you're a child, where you could not flee, so instead of fight and flight, you freeze or you fawn. Now those are two that are not often talked about. Freeze is getting a bit more popular, because when we are children, and we cannot get out of our own way, we freeze in that moment. Emotionally we freeze. Many people, including myself, had deassociate. We cannot be there anymore, so we're away somewhere else. We have big gaps in our childhood. It doesn't make us broken, it just meant that we had a survival tactic in us. But that frozen emotion, that moment that happens stays with us. So it's really important that we start acknowledging our body's mind. Because this is where so many people get stuck. Because they've read the book, they've done the workshop, they've even started their healing, but they haven't yet understood that their emotional body still believes the old story is true. Now, I'm going to say that again. You might have done the work consciously. You might have said that this is it, I am doing that, but your body still believes in the old story. So even if your logical mind says, I've got this, your emotional mind still whispers, don't get too visible. Don't speak too boldly. Don't trust too easily. Don't relax too much. It's not safe. This is the inner tug of war I see time and time again, especially in brilliant, self-aware people who are actively trying to change, who are actively working on being better at being them. They're not stuck because they're lazy or unmotivated. They're not stuck because their identity was formed around the emotional story, not the intellectual understanding. And many of the concepts when we are younger are far mental concepts. The intellectual understanding were far out of our realm of being even able to acknowledge or understand. But emotionally we had an experience, and that's the truth we live in now. And when your identity is built around protection, performance, and perfectionism, invisibility, people-pleasing, and whatever strategy your younger self developed to feel safe, then every time you expand, your system sends up red flags. Now, for anybody who's had anxiety, fear of the future, and new things, new places, all the flags are going up. We're having a panic attack. We're having anxiety. We're having heart palpitations. It's not resistance. It's recognition. Your nervous system is saying, last time we stood out, we got hurt. Last time we relaxed, we got abandoned. Last time we asked for more, we were punished. So the question becomes, how do we shift our story that's running underneath the story? And that's the heart of my work. That's why I am a clarity and growth coach. That is why I practice EFT tapping as a main part of my modalities, because I know from my own experience of being able to change the story of who I was and remove panic and remove depression and remove, serious anxiety has been because I've changed that emotional story. So, because these patterns don't shift with more thinking, they shift with awareness, emotional safety, and a body level integration. So if you've ever thought about doing anything for yourself, there's lots of videos on EFT, check them out. But if you want me to help you to really get to that bit we need to deal with, in a tapping session, intuition comes into it, and I can help you zone in on the bit that we need to do. So I'm available. I have some spaces. Reach out. Let's just have a conversation and start from there. So today I invite you to reflect. What emotional story is still leading, even though you logically know better? Where are you responding from protection, not presence? What role have you been unconsciously playing, and who are you beneath it? You don't need to fix yourself. You need to return to the truth. We need to clear out that noise, clear out that story, and then you get the opportunity to be all that you are, which is truly magnificent. You are a magnificent being, and when we get rid of the emotional story, you can start being that magnificent being. So in next week, to follow on from this one, we're going to look and talk a bit more about identity and how that plays such a big role in this emotional story. How they form, how they get reinforced, and how we gently can begin to unravel them without losing our sense of safety. Actually, the more you get safer from the inside out, the more you start to be able to make friends with your emotions, let go of old stories. The more safety you have from the inside, the safer it is in every other aspect of your life. So thank you for being here. Thank you for walking this heart-led path with me. You are not behind, you're remembering. Until next time, I am so pleased that you're here, and check it out. I will put this up there, and I'll put those questions in actually the podcast. Let me know how you get on with them. But bye for now.